Is subsidy gone? Yes or no?
Subsidy is still ongoing behind the scene. I think that's the answer for your question. Why did I say so? On the 29th of May, during the inaugural speech, Mr. President made a speech that most stakeholders have described as ill-timing and unwarranted speech without consultation to stakeholders. Just 3 words, like you mentioned, subsidy is gone. So arising from that, and it's good that we should note that on that very day, the cost for selling rate for crude oil at the international market was $78 per barrel on that day. So the removal of fuel subsidy up the fuel price from 190, 200 to 510 naira per liter. So a few weeks later, arising from the external variables at the international market, crude oil now moved from $78 per barrel to 80, 82, 83. And it will invariably affect the selling rate of the byproduct of crude oil in the international market. So then landing cost now increased to close 590, 600. And price of PMS was increased 2-3 weeks after the May 29. So few weeks after that, landing cost now went close 700 naira per liter. And journalists approached the GMD of NNPC, requesting from him that hence landing cost is close to 700 naira per liter. What will you be doing? And the word of the GMD, he said, we are transferring all the differentials to the NNPC books, and what we are paying for is differentials, but not subsidy. Take note of this. The first word he used was he confessed that we are paying for differentials and not subsidy. So, Kofi, as scholars, it's good we should define what is subsidy. Subsidy is defined as a monetary intervention by the government as a way of social welfare package. And let it be on record also that there is no nation on planet Earth that doesn't have any form of welfare package to its citizens. So only what Nigerians and in some other developed countries, the welfare package can come in form of transportation, agriculture, or food, health sector, and the rest, or education. But there's no nation on earth that doesn't have any form of social welfare package to its citizens. So one thing Nigerians enjoy should be this commodity called subsidy or on PMS. So on that note, the GND of NNPC used the word differential and not subsidy.
Okay.
Because
that was in August.
Yes, that was August. Okay. He said what we are paying for is differentials that have been transferred or forwarded to the books of NNPC. Going further,
okay, Doc, before you move to the next phase, so that was in August. I would like you to just do a favor to us, by maybe pulling out the earpiece to see if the audio quality will improve from your end, and let's see if we can just use the Zoom without the earpiece in, because it's a
better now.
Oh yes, better. Thank you.
Is it better? Okay.
Yes.
So going further, he now said they were paying. The journalists actually asked him, because he visited Asoro. He said, we are not paying for subsidy, but what we are paying is differentials. So Kofi, let's do a bit of analysis, difference between differentials and subsidy. The what you pay is the difference between this landing cost and the selling rate, which is differentials when we are paying subsidy. So now subsidy is gone, you're still paying for differentials. So half a dozen and 6. Kofi, what is I don't know the difference between what I have. My egg is half a dozen, my egg is 6. So he said we are paying for differentials, but they're not paying for subsidy. I'm yet to see him to really explain the difference between subsidy and differentials. So he was actually uncomfortable because journalists actually wanted him to deep more into making them understand the meaning of differentials. So just last week, same journalists approached him again, say we are hearing, because the information at the public domain is not information given to us by NNPC, but information given to us by importers of these products. Importers say landing cost, as of last week, say it's close 800 naira per liter, that they can't import any further. And as we speak, there is a supply gap nationwide. There is a supply gap. Reason because importers, I recall about 2 months ago, the midstream downstream regulatory authority licensed 3 marketers to say now we want to dismantle the monopoly long enjoyed by NNPC. You can join the market by importing. Out of the 3, only one ventured into that, and it was a big loss from the report they gave, the article published by that firm, that they won't import anymore. The other 2 haven't imported till date. The other 2. So how come an investor that have been given the authority to import is not importing? That should be a big question to you to investigate as a journalist. And that proves to you that landing cost as of last week was close 800 naira per liter. So same journalist approached the GMD of NNPC, and now he didn't use the word differentials. He used the word recovery.
That was last week, right?
Yeah, this was last week. Take note again, the month of August, say we are paying for differentials. Now, last week, he said we are recovering the differentials of
cost recovery,
our importation. And recall that from 19th of July last year, NNPC become, when it was branded as NNPC Limited, that proves to you that it's a full commercialized firm. So it's not a charitable organization that should be importing and be selling at loss, because the stakeholders and shareholders will be expecting dividend at the end, at the AGM. So he now said, we are recovering our cost of importation. That's what he used last week. So now let's take a deep understanding of the meaning of the word recovery. And what are you recovering? So then now ask him again, what about subsidy? Say they are not paying for subsidy, but they are recovering. So Kofi, please help me, what are they recovering? So the book of a reconciliation book of LNG and NNPC last month revealed that a particular amount, I think I've forgotten the amount, I can't remember, paid to NNPC via NNPC actually reflected at the books of NNPC. On the books of NNPC, it reflected as PMS importation recovery. So it is obvious that NNPC will not import close 800 naira and be selling about 600 naira as it were, or as it is today. So to uphold the dignity and the prestige of the office of the presidency, which word is a bond to the nation and the international community, saying subsidy is gone, no person will want to further use that word subsidy. But they can flip through the dictionaries to use any other word that doesn't really mean subsidy, just to communicate to us, because we want to hear and they want to tell us what we want to hear.
We hear that some of you in the petroleum marketing or retail industry, if not you, maybe your colleagues, are saying that petrol ought to be selling at 900 naira per liter as we speak. Do you agree with that, and why is that the case?
Okay, remember I told you that as of last week, landing cost was close 800 naira per liter. So all things being equal, and in a system of food deregulation, and I'm really surprised about the situation of Nigeria. It's just like backward and forward. What I know in economics or in marketing, the word deregulation means the variables of demand and supply should dictate the selling rate, and government will not further give a benchmark or a selling template. Recall that this led to the dismantling of the agency called PPPP, Petroleum Pricing Regulatory Agency. So the sole responsibility was to set a template or a selling rate. So dismantling this agency arising from the PIA that has been signed into law, it places that the variables of demand and supply should set the price. So if you say a sector is deregulated, why still coming in to say this should be your selling rate, this should be so I think Nigeria was just going backward and forward. If you have deregulated a sector, you back it, you back up your face from that sector, and let the players of the industry dictate the selling rate arising from competition.